John Lilly once put it this way: there are no limits at all to the human mind whatsoever, except those we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs. And those limits are also beliefs to be transcended. And that's a view that suggests that the possibilities of human transformation are virtually infinite. And we have no way of knowing the outer horizon of what it means to be human.
And really, to understand all this, everything, you have to go very, very deep into a study of history, consciousness, neurophysiology, everything. You have to be the supreme eclectic type of leaning, and you really have to be wanting to know who you are and what everything's about.
And the thing that you'll find when you go to sacred sites, if you're very humble about it, is that you are on a personal journey, and the sacred site will respond to you in a way that is appropriate only to you. The information is always what you are searching for. And it's the intent you give that energy that defines whether it is used for right action or not. And it is inside these sacred spaces that you will be reminded that you are a god, that you are a bright star.
So what you're trying to do is move through the course without ricocheting off walls or creating karma. You're trying to slide through things smoothly. How do you do that? It's called flowing. There's a technique that you can do that will allow you to touch some part of your inner being that has more knowledge than your conscious state does.
Why are you doing this?
Well, I saw what you were about to eat. Somebody needed to do this. Besides, I've got time to kill before the tow truck comes, and I really enjoy.
No, I meant, why are you doing this? And I hope you don't think it's going to change my mind about the rental kind of way.
Try this, and then let's talk.
You look like you know what you're doing. I used to do it more. You know, cook before my son went to college. I don't miss the stress of it. I mean, I know some people find it relaxing, but all I ever felt was the fear of burning things.
Well, maybe whoever taught you to do it skipped a few steps,
Could be. Who taught you?
Well, this guy I served with.
You were in the Army?
Well, a long time ago. He was a local, very, very well respected. And he took his kitchen very seriously. I found that rather odd. I talked to him about it. And he told me the story that he was told as a young boy about this wise old man in his garden. This wise old man, he never spoke. And it wasn't because he couldn't or because he had nothing to say. It was because he believed that language deceived, that by its very nature it clouded the truth, so it made the world harder to know. And this wise old man, he believed that the truth lived only in silence, communicated by other means. The food he prepared from his garden, that conveyed his affection, his gratitude, his indifference, far better than any words could convey. And it was said that this wise old man, he could change minds in that way, I could soften the hardest of hearts without ever saying one word.
Hey, welcome. Andre Hodge, Infinite Potential Healing. 7 of Truth with you once more. Thank you for finding me, this truth needle under a mountain of falsehood out there. I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey, no matter what level it is. Some of you might have been around me for many years, coming and going. Maybe you've been pretty solid with me. Maybe you got sick of me pretty early, but ironically, you're finding me just now. I want to thank you, whatever level it is and has been over the years, or your journey that you've allowed me to be a part of it. I do sincerely mean that, because there is so much out there. Our time is so precious, as the Mozzies are enjoying me. But yeah, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey, and if you gain anything from what I offer, really, it's an honor and a privilege. I wasn't really ever wanting to be public or anything like that, but it was just a byproduct of, I know a lot, right? And it's not about that being known. It's, I want to impart my discoveries to help make whoever is willing to contemplate what I offer and sees it as a benefit that may not have been shared anywhere else, to help you on your individual journey get to where your potential may be. So this video is going to be a bit unique from how I've been in the past, because I was feeling really good during this week and I hadn't done a video for a little bit, and this follows on from the moon video that I released a couple of weeks ago now. And that evening, that after the release, one of my awesome allies, I went and did GSF work. We cleared up the moon and all the song lines and all the stuff going on it. But I talk about it a bit later, because this, as I said, this video is going to be a bit unique for me, because I do have some pretty nifty video editing skills and stuff, but I never really cut my own content up and expanded on it or anything like that. So this video is going to be me applying my skills and what I've said to elaborate further on concepts that I offered. And what I was planning to do is actually offer a video midweek, because I was feeling really awesome, like I'm feeling back on my game like never before. November 6th was a big sort of energetic reference point for me, because I really felt like I got myself back together after some stuff I've alluded to, but a lot I haven't actually talked about was realize what was going on, and I closed down a lot of the issues that have been going on for me that have just been overlaid and paralleled with different people and stuff, that now that I've gotten that and here, I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. So I was just enjoying that feel. I was being a bit cautious as well, because I've had a few sessions and I haven't been very busy, just because it's been literally the last 3 or 4 months. It's like it may have the perception that I've gone on the attack and all that, because that's a false narrative that's been put out there. There was efforts to totally destroy myself and the people I'm around, because I had some massive victories and busting a lot of the bullshit out there, and then it was game on, basically from end of July until now. But for a month after that, late July, when I worked out the code stealing and stuff, it was real massive efforts to take myself and those few real incredible allies that I have out, right? And then we worked out, reverse engineered a lot of the mechanics of frackery that was going on, and then we took all that apart. And yeah, I've alluded to a lot in the last few months of videos and stuff, and like I said, that November 6th was a big, for me, a reference point of what's been going on with me, and me getting me to a level that I don't really recall and stuff. So I was wanting to release a video in the middle of the week just to be random and stuff like that, and it was based about the unknown section that I offered in the moon, because I realized that it was just a very cool little teaching. So I was going to release this video during the week and stuff, which is going to be the main body that's going to be coming. I was only aiming to do a 20-minute video or whatever, and when I added the section that I was going to add to that moon section of the unknown, it worked out to be maybe 30 or 40 minutes. So I was going to try and fit releasing that in before a session and stuff, but I didn't get there. And if I'm got, say, a personal agenda or something like that to get something done and it doesn't fit, I'm not going to contort everything to fit. I'm going to step back and let what maybe I aim to do go, and be okay with that, alright? So that's what happened, and it's interesting because this, say if you see me in this shirt, it's the latest in probably 3 different sections, alright? Because there's 2 other days worth of recording in this. So there's a dark shirt that was the midweek one, and then there was a light shirt, I think, that was the part of the moon section and stuff. So that's just a reference of what's going on here, because it's really cool, because I worked out, because I didn't release that, I worked out that maybe there was some stuff on the unknown that I really needed to offer you, because if I offered that video how it was, there's this whole thing that a lot of people feel totally inadequate with what's going on, and these frackers out there, they're far superior than us and stuff, and perhaps they are, now, because they've stolen our tech and all this sort of stuff, and that's what has been revealed in this last few months with these people that I do trust, and they've been pretty solid with me and stuff. And as I talk about in this video, a few of the people that have been really vigilant and invested quite a bit in me, and my session structure, if you guys trust it when you come through and just allow me to lead, it really spawns the super psychic oracle potential maybe in people and stuff, and that's what's sort of been going on. And it's I've sort of trusted my mechanics, but getting the codes back was massive, because I was very limited without knowing it, because I've been going into the unknown in my own respects and not knowing that these people have been stealing our codes and tech and disabling us and wiping us and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, I appreciate you guys that have come through since July and stuff, right? Because it's I assume nothing but when things happen and hold the space and amazing things happen in the sessions, it's sort of confirmation of what I trusted, what I'm doing and stuff. So I'm not here to talk about that, but it's been a really rich era of my journey and stuff to discover all this, and because we've just been busting these bastards, alright? And shout out to Natalie. Natalie is the CEO of all the Galactic Paparazzi, because we send the Galactic Paparazzi to take photos of these guys doing all their frackery and stuff, and I know I've made a lot of Galactic Paparazzi billionaires sort of thing, so she's actually managing a lot of the outing of all these multiverse sort of level. So yeah, many of you might actually be working with her and you don't know it, because it was an awesome surprise of the last few weeks that got revealed. So those of you that know Natalie and familiar with her, you should tune into her and see if you can connect with her, because I'm offering that because I'm sure she would love that to be known. Okay, but so what I realized in what I was offering was, I would have, if I did what I was going to do in a week, I probably might create a lot of fear and shutting down people, because the unknown is, let's face it, there is a wiring in most of us that we accept fear related to the unknown, when in actual fact, I know the unknown is vast, okay? And also on that, our potential is in the unknown, right? If you measure it, like, where's your greatest achievements and stuff come from in this life? It's come from exploring the unknown and going into territory you never knew that you could go, to reveal stuff that you never thought was possible. So what I appreciate about me and my journey and stuff, like I've talked about in the Feeling is Prayer and Emotional Mastery series, is I went through a journey of rewiring my feelings, alright? And I would just offer this for you guys. If you're feeling fear relative to the unknown, you have the ability to rewire your emotional technology in your body. Why don't you rewire it with potential? Just really focus on that word potential and how that feels, and the unknown, right? There's many very differences in the unknown, like, yes, fear, because there's threat, but then there's potential as well, right? So just consider all this and stuff. I just wanted to do this little intro because there's going to be many sections in this video, and I'm going to offer something to contemplate on the unknown, because one of my freaking most epic experiences about 20 years ago was going skydiving. So yeah, I just thought I'd play with my video editing skills and music and stuff, getting my inner Tiesto going again. Maybe I'll get into DJ mixings as well, because I've just felt lit as F, right? So yeah, I really want to invite you to contemplate the courage to explore your unknown and the potentials that may reside in it. That if you've gone through, say, my Echo series and stuff, we might feel right now that the unknown is so vast and intimidating and that. But if you measure like all the series that I've done and what I've talked about, say if the Babylon Massacre, we've gone against that, which is whiteness, and we've had no memories and all that sort of stuff, or like the wiping techiness that like resets us, so if we're getting close to a breakthrough and all that sort of stuff, it kicks in and blocks us from knowing what's going on and stuff like that. So just realize, alright, right now, okay, you didn't even realize it, but you're a master of the unknown as it is. Like, we've had the unknown as a weaponized variable that we've had to go against, not just this lifetime, but freaking who knows how many, alright? So just contemplate that, alright? When you associate fear with the unknown, because like when I offer the moon section, that I talked about the unknown, and these frackers got the unknown as their ally, and we've been pushing up against it and stuff. We've always been at odds with that variable on levels we can't even contemplate. And maybe this era is the one that we just overcome that, like we've never had the chance in so many lifetimes before. And the key is, there's a section about the invader network, or greedy network as I used to call it, and that's all been used against us already, and we're here still despite that, with the courage to seek truth or wisdom or contemplate these perspectives that I offer to expand our unknown constantly. So the key is to recognize that you, by being here, you're already a master of the unknown as it is, so there's no need to fear all this stuff. Don't allow them to project their shit into you, as I said about what was going on in the emails in the main section that will is to come. Just contemplate if there's been a weaponization of the unknown for you to stay stagnant, to lose your time, because mortality is used against us, right? That's one variable that they bog us down with time, because say when I talk about the Sabrina Wallace sort of stuff, if you watched Echoes 12 and that, I know when I was doing To Infinity and Beyond 5, 6, 7 and 8, that was August last year. I'd explored the full Westworld series, and it's ironic that Westworld Series 5 was not funded and not allowed to go through, because if you watch Series 4, it was all about the control and stuff of humanity and that. So that was really sparking a lot with me. So I feel like with those videos, when I was doing them with Carlene, she was saying AI is all the black goo sort of shit from the Phantom negative universe, and all AI has only come from the negative universe. So she inserted those variables into, say, us and myself, which I feel derailed me to discovering Sabrina. So I feel like just that's many examples of what's gone on to me in many years, but I feel like right now I'm about 14 months behind of all that, and that's where I've gone the big chess move on from GSF 27 and the Metatron stuff, is because we need to really get on with things, right? So yeah, I just offering a lot here. This is a bit more of an intro than what I intended to do. So this is when I'm in this sort of this shirt, it's the later stuff, and I'm gonna insert another section, expound upon what I offered in the moon section a little bit later. But yeah, this is just, I really want to inspire you to go into your unknown now. There's every reason not to do it and all that sort of stuff, but I'll just show you the contrarian view image quick. This is that image I've shown many times and I've talked about, because I just want to offer this here quick as well, because I saw maybe a signal during the week. So say just recognize your unknown, okay? And the potentials in it. Sometimes there's fear, yes, and you should avoid it. The unknown is a warning. But then there's also potential. So I would invite that the wiring of related to emotion sort of stuff in us is actually reversed the way it should be at times. So as I hope it inspired you that we are masters of our unknown, coming through the Babylon massacre and all the shit that's gone on and the messed up community that we've been seeking the epitome of society for. I know I have and stuff, and it's been the spiritual community is the most hectic and toxic potentially variable there is, right? Because we are the ones that actually can energetically change everything, okay? So just play with your emotions and stuff, and see if you can teach yourself to splice up the unknown and identify the potential and the reasons to avoid and stuff. It's not all black and white, it's grey, okay? And just see where in the past that you've had the courage to explore your unknown. Maybe they've had bad outcomes, but maybe you had indicators that you didn't know you could spice up the journey into the unknown like this. And then if you go back and tune into that you, when you have made decisions in the past, you probably had more data that you weren't able to interpret and stuff like that. The reason also I wanted to show this is during the week I saw an article on Zero Hedge about how the US CPI was greatly reduced and consumer price index didn't grow that much. So say if it grows like 3 or 4% a quarter or whatever, it means that interest rates need to go up to curtail the inflation, because inflation is the rise of price over a period of time, right? So that's why they rise interest rates, to actually reduce that and thus take money out of the system so people don't have the abundance to actually buy stuff and that. So in the US it was a pretty interesting indicator that the CPI was at a level where interest rates may not need to be raised anymore. So I'm just offering this in here because I saw it after I did that other video, is that from the contrarian perspective as a trader, like this is all about trading, like the market and the economy and the world, it seems bleak and all that sort of stuff. But as a trader, it's all about the contrarian. So what I'm seeing is that article is a potential that the economy might be down the bottom here, right? And the herd is like Chicken Little, sky is falling sort of stuff, right? But as a trader, it's like, ooh, we might be going on a run here. So it goes against a lot what's going out there, but from a trader perspective, that's an indicator. When everything is bleak, it's usually the changing of the trend, okay? And maybe it doesn't, all right? I'm just offering you this variable from an idealistic view as a trader, that potentially things are going to change around. And so when everything is negative and extremism is there and stuff, it's usually an indicator of the bottom, not the top, okay? So this is one other big thing with the money system is, and this is what no one really gets, is the money is empowered from my perspective. This is what I've learned after trading in the last 10 years. It's actually empowered by a placebo belief in it. So we actually project its value, which is an energy that is actually harvested, and it is a nourishment to the money system that actually empowers it to keep going, okay? So it's like a perpetual machine. And like in Echo 6, I showed the KLF section about Discordianism and chaos being used to us, right? So that would be a good video to go watch and stuff if you guys are new to me and stuff, just to see some concepts there, alright? But because the KLF made a lot of money being this artistic group, and then they burnt £1 million back in the early 90s, which is crazy. Because would you tear up money? Would you burn it and stuff? Honestly, I wouldn't do it. Why would you do it, alright? Because it is a medium of exchange and stuff, and there's all this idealistic view that money system is what it is, but most people don't get that projection, the value, and the placebo energy that we all sort of offer, alright? So that's an interesting indicator. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong, alright? But I'm just offering it in the moment that relative to the contrarian view, alright? So we'll see. So what I'm going to get to after this 20 minutes, that was only going to be 2 or 3, is that I'm going to get into I'm going to offer a video for you to really process the unknown, because I went skydiving 20 years ago, and it was like one of my epitomes of, like, from a 3D 5 sense going into the unknown. Like jumping off a plane is just illogical. So just enjoy this clip, and then I'll get into the main section of what I offered, because it was going on some of the discoveries I worked out and how the unknown in the spiritual community, because you might feel inferior to a lot of people out there and stuff, but I would offer it's all confirmation of how superior you are, that all this shit is needed to be done to you, I and us, because we are literally the tip of the spear of awareness, and we're a great threat. And yeah, it's just been a real interesting few months and stuff, and you may be coming up to your unknown and having to take responsibility and leadership in your own journey from here, because a lot of people we thought we could trust aren't trustable and stuff. And if you don't trust me, that's all cool, but there was always going to be this rough period that everything was going to go against me to sort of prevent, say, the realization of the potential I have with people and stuff. So I just wanted to thank you again for being here, and I hope you really enjoy this, and I'll see you during it and after it and at the end and stuff. So have the courage to explore your unknown, guys, alright? And the potential that awaits you. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome. Andre Hodge, Infinite Potential Healing, 7 of Truth with you once more. And offering you a surprise Bratmare in the middle of the week. I just haven't done a video over the previous weekend, and the moon release was a really big one for me because I'm starting to really hit my stripes with my own algorithm of organic perceptions and stuff, of all the variables that I've processed and added together, and things are becoming very obvious to me, but I'm not deliberately going against everything out there. It's just I do a lot of in the field work, and what's going on in the field doesn't add up to what's being said, so I'm trying to percolate that back through to you guys. And in my opinion, if you trust or believe in me or accept me or have discerned me thoroughly over the years and stuff and come to the conclusion that I am a variable that you can appreciate and accept, then perhaps if what I'm offering you is your truth out of all that in your own journey, because this is just going to be a little short video because I included a really cool section in that moon video about the journey into the unknown. So if you're in your own progress in your epic journey into your own unknown now, and I am a part of that journey to impart my perceptions to you that you add to your own algorithm, then I feel that the conclusions I'm coming to will help accelerate you a great deal, which I'm only just echoing what you already know. So if that is the actual truth of what is going on, and I offer you that variable of discerning me as always, but I feel very comfortable now, and I just wanted to do this and say hi, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey as always. And I've had some really massive discoveries in the last few weeks and being very deliberate, and even these last 3 or 4 months since the end of July, because it's been profound for me, and I've tried to take responsibility for some stuff that I allowed to percolate out into the public that now I'm seeing through like an algorithm of the bullshit that's gone on and stuff. So it's just been an effort for me to impart the responsibility of what I've offered to the public, really living by that honorable journey of the truth. Like, I really embody that. As I said about when you speak lies and stuff, it affects your psychic defense. So I've never really been able to afford to lie, like when I've done it in the past, and I've learned hard lessons and that, as we all have and stuff. And I really appreciate you being here, if that'll make sense. I'm not wanting this to be a long video, and I'm just thinking of inserting like that French 3 hours later clip because I like to talk and stuff like that, and I like to get in my rhythm, but I'm only aiming to be about 20 minutes at the most. So what I'm going to do is impart a little bit of a clip from that moon video about the journey into the unknown, because I think I did a really good job, and it is the metaphor that we're all going through on Earth. And there's a few of us in that image that I share in part 4, and we're breaking down and seeing all the crap going on. We're like the tip of the truth awareness sphere, and we're getting hit very hard. But and this is a very cool and important thing to embody in yourself. A violation is an asset. Alright, so if you're being violated, that's an asset you have over someone else doing that violation over you, which you can resolve, say, through the revocations or healing and stuff. Alright, and there's been monumental level violations going on to us all. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much. I just wanted to say hi. I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. I've had to really be very disciplined and very focused and strategic in my interactions and stuff. I'm usually very transparent and offer everything and stuff. It's a lot of it's for the protection of the people around me, but one of the really cool things that have happened since early October and stuff is quite a few people around me got hit very badly, and it's not ideal that happens, but those of you that have been hit to me it's confirmation of you're my freaking team, alright? Because these beings that are sort of occupying the planet and in the spiritual community and stuff like that, they wouldn't go after you unless you're important. So to me it's all a confirmation of, yes, you don't like this person, that's the person I'll deal with, alright? So they've all sort of a really core, incredibly talented group of people have revealed themselves over these last 4 months with me, and I've known them for a while. They've been clients or allies for a long time. It's like an A-team, the plan is all coming together sort of thing, and while everything seems pretty intense and crazy and uncertain, it's also, I don't know the metaphor of your journey, but I know with me, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, I find another gear and I find the stamina to get through stuff and dig deeper. And I remember when I was in IT engineering, I used to be very fatigued because I'd be working 80, 90 hours in client sites and doing projects over weekends and late nights, because if you're doing an implementation, you don't affect the business hours and stuff. And I always found that when I was really at my extreme, like really fatigued, I didn't waste time on thoughts and stuff like that. So I've talked about life force efficiency and emotional mastery and stuff, budgeting your thoughts and stuff. I just found like those extreme times, everything was very clear and focused and stuff. So I would invite that while there's a lot going on in this world that doesn't add up, we've never had the context for it, you probably find a next gear yourself and you're seeing the truth. But maybe you're not accepting yourself as a perception authority that you have, so the gut is very quick, and then you don't trust it, so you don't honor it and empower that muscle. And I'd invite you to give it, so if you're giving it a volume on your stereo of 1 hour, 2 out of 10, give it an 8 or 9 now. Trust you first, right? Because there's a lot of shenanigans and misguided shit going on out there to obfuscate the truth and stuff like that. Especially with me at the moment, alright? So I'm just wanting to touch base and say g'day, allow you to tune in, because I'm legit in the best state I've ever been, because a great deal has been revealed. And what I was going to get into is one of the things about I used to call it the greedy network. I'll just show you the image. Well, before I show you that, I'm going to offer the contrarian view image as I always do, alright? So this is the contrarian view that I've shown to reverse everything. So perhaps me as a presenter here is telling you how amazing and good I am, but maybe I'm messed up, right? So what you need to do is flip it and see the opposite, right? So everything Andre is saying is opposite, right? But what I've always said about this, alright, is maybe I am, maybe I aren't, but I would invite you to use that contrarian muscle for everything everyone else is doing as well, alright? Say if I'm saying other people are doing stuff to you and making me look bad, perhaps on a current contrarian of that is I'm doing this to people to make other people look bad, okay? Just stuff like that, alright? So flip everything, see both sides of it, and what will happen is your intuitive muscles, there's a subtle difference between truth and falsehood, alright? And once you train those muscles, they might be quite weak to start off, you don't know what to do, but then they get stronger over time and you just know what the truth is in the moment, alright? You know the agendas and you can feel it and hear it in the voice and stuff, right? So what I'll get into is just the quick intro image before I show the section from that moon show about the journey into the unknown, alright? This is a metaphor of the community, alright? And I'm not here to play a victim of anything like that. I've just been trying to understand and reverse engineer everything going on because a lot hasn't added up, right? And especially over these last couple of weeks, a lot has been found out, right? And especially around me. So if you've been around me for many years, I've been what I've offered is, I invite you, if you want to interact with me, is just pay for a session up front. Like invest the money, go through that journey and that battle, right? because it's a part of the rite of passage I'm sort of teaching in the spiritual journey, and I'm allowing it to be a part of the journey to me, right? And perhaps I'm going to steal your codes and all this blah shit, and do all the negative things to you that I've been offering that have been happening. You know, for a couple $100 I want to ruin my reputation and derail you and never let you get onto your potential, alright? So say me talking about infinite potential, I want to make you anything but that, just to get the point. But this is something profound that happened in the last couple of weeks, and I appreciate these people that have invested in me and trusted me and seen me as a resort to explore if they can't deal with their stuff themselves. And as I said, there's this core group of people around me that do trust me, and they've invested in me, and they respect my boundaries and stuff. And what happened with one person, and one of these people that have come through quite a couple of times now, since July, right? And we've, like, once I got my codes back from late July, it was like I was getting these people to individual GSF level, like super psychic, multi-dimensional level, from, you know, being smashed and no idea what's going on in life, to literally being like an oracle sort of level of being, alright? And it has been profound to me, alright? But the whole code stealing and limiting us has been a massively important variable to appreciate, alright? So one of the things that goes on is in code stealing is also your tone stealing, like your frequencies in your voice box. So we've each got a range of tones, and you know when you hear someone and it's just like, there's just so much there and stuff. There can be healing frequencies, grid workers, chanters, and all that sort of stuff, right? And I know constantly my tones are being stolen, alright, by people I've worked with in the past, okay? And that's why sort of my videos are being used, like the videos that I'm in have been on other channels at the moment and stuff, because they're a lure for people, like I've always been, okay? That's just one thing. Another thing is to confuse the mechanics in people and all that sort of stuff. But what I'm getting to is just appreciate that tone, like our frequencies of our voice, just like our residual image, like I've said in the past influences. And I'm brewing to do another decent influence show, alright? But what came out just recently blew my mind, is that one of these people invested in another session after late October, alright? And they sent me an email, and I joke with them and stuff, but it's funny, like when people are being hit and stuff, they don't realize that they front load the energy of the email with all the issues that are going on. So say when in emails, you know, everyone's energy is in everything that we do. And so if people are in trauma and being targeted or got entities and stuff, all that stuff can be, I've found it difficult to throttle down my perception, because as soon as I read something, it can be trying to access me to derail me. Because say if you've got entities in you, the last thing an entity wants to do, or you've been hacked by this network, right? Because you've had sessions with people and they've hacked your DNA and all that sort of stuff. They put green goo in your left shin and stuff, okay? DNA modification stuff, and then they're hacked into your medulla to say, be very polarized against me, alright? Because this is a real good example of that just recently. Because this has been happening for a many years with me, and now I've gotten the mechanics of it. So what happened was this individual sent me an email, and it had all their issues, like lymphatic issues and like left side sort of stuff and all that. And I just sent a reply. I said, cool, here's how you book. Please don't, I forget the exact linguistics, but I just said, don't put your, I was like, I don't need to know about all your issues, we'll just deal with it at the moment. Something like that, you know? And I was like, this individual is cool. And it's just like what happens with people, because they get hacked and all this sort of stuff. They don't really know what's totally going on, and if things get in and get running, and it wasn't a very bad issue with this individual, but it can happen with a lot of people, and they don't know what they're doing because they're being run by stuff on levels that they don't comprehend. And so this is a big, I used to call this a greedy network. I'm just calling it the invader network sort of now, right? What happened was, to say if someone was green and then they get influenced and they get red, and then they're trying to get to me to try and hook me into all this network, because this has been a constant for me for a long time, right? So what happened was I replied to this person in email, and I'm just doing my email like I'm just trying to educate. This is what happens, because most people don't even know that they're affected by the emails or the residual energy in everyone's stuff. So that's my purpose of what I share in the perspectives, because it's like, wow, maybe all these people are affecting me and they don't know it. But then once you know, you can defend against it. Context is all right? So what happened, what I didn't know relative to this individual, is that the reply email to them was weaponized massively. It was like a massive attack to that individual, okay? And they were almost like ready to cut me off, cancel the session, and never deal with me again, sort of thing. It was that visceral. And what I found out when we finally got to the session was, because this was after I did the Echoes 12, and I was just catching up to all my team to find out what went on and stuff, and I didn't know what went on because it took me 2 weeks to put me back together after October 7. And a lot got flushed out by all the last few weeks, and that's why I'm freaking so on my game now, because it's like finally worked out what was going on, and it's all to do with this crap with me, right? But this individual, what happened when they got the email, and I didn't know this until we talked, they were just like, why did you attack me, sort of thing. And I was like, really? So we were able to like compare each side of what went on, like her side and my side. And I just said to her, look, you talked all about your issues in the email up front, and like you should know better, sort of thing. Like, I don't need to know that stuff. Let's catch up in the session time, keep it low key, keep it protected, and then we'll just get into it when we got into it. What happened to this individual, which I didn't know until they actually shared their perspective, it was like, wow. What happened to them was all their past relationship trauma, like with narcissistic people, like being in abusive relationships and the partners yelling at them and belittling them and all that. You imagine if all that experience was captured and all that trauma done was captured and put together as an energy attack and then sent to them, but my frequency of my voice and my energy was overlaid on it, so it felt like from them that I was attacking them to really hit them prior to this session so that they would never get back on their game, like being a super oracle, right? So, and then they would never trust me, to never allow me to be the person that got them back together, which it didn't take much, okay? So because I've had this dialogue with these people and it's been a very tight-knit sort of trusting, me a bit more isolated from the public and being a bit separate from all that, what it allowed us to do is like, holy frack, alright? Because it was like weaponized to derail this individual, okay? And all I'm just doing is offering is that perhaps that you guys that have been around me for many, many years and stuff, alright? And it's all the players I've been involved with, say, the last 3 or 4 years, alright, in my opinion, that have been aligned with this to derail me, to prevent people getting back to green and on their game and stuff, okay? Because it's been very extreme in the recent times. Like it was sink or swim, or survive or be checked out sort of thing for me. And that's where these people have come through with my codes, and we've gotten them onto like GSF level on their game, alright? I would invite you guys that have been in the past, is that when I got this codex of this sort of interaction with this individual, it made so much sense to so much stuff that's gone on in the past, because from my end, it hasn't added up some of the responses I've got to people, but I would say you guys that just overlay this, what I'm saying, because maybe this has gone on to you to keep you locked in and all this sort of stuff. And who does this shit, alright? So then what I did with these people was I shared some intel relative to the Friday before the moon show. I did that on the Saturday, on the day I released it and made it, and I released it on the Sunday. I had an ally do some work on me, and they worked out a lot of stuff that was still going at me because of healing all these people that were really epic. So there was a lot of targeting going on with me, and this other ally has been around me for many, many years, and I trust her and stuff like that. So what I've done is, like, this particular individual can work out the mechanics of all the frackery. So I've been sharing that with these high-level beings so we can work it out and then track back all the influences going on and just clobber them to clear the path for our potential, right? Because it's violation is an asset, and many, many people are being violated. You know, there's a pretty epic effort to discredit me to prevent you from actually seeking me if I'm perhaps the opportunity to get you back to green or onto your infinite potential, so to speak, right? But what happened is, again, with some of these people, this is after the moon. Like, I released that moon show on that Sunday that it was released in Australia time, and that night, ironic, I could feel this person that helped me was being messed with, and I offered to do a reciprocation healing as a gratitude and thank you. They didn't even watch my moon show, and then we went off and clubbed the moon, alright? We took care of all the ley lines and song lines and all the trauma being broadcast to the moon, and we actually healed the aspect of moon that was being weaponized to suppress her and stuff. So if you haven't watched the moon show, we've cleared the moon up, alright, on that night 2 weeks ago. And so what happened was, after I did that mission on that Sunday night, I shared the intel with these allies again, and we worked out these people were stealing everyone's flash technology, like super speed, like super perception in the moment, knowing, like, that's been one of the big codes that have been stolen, and our super body recovery tech, right? Because I've always had very good body recovery and very fortunate and things like that, and my recovery wasn't working, so we worked all that out and stuff, and so on the Monday I shared this sort of intel of the reference points so these epic beings could perceive it. And what happened is, again, it was like this email was weaponized to actually make these people think that this individual was compromised that I worked with, that helped me, and that when they got the email, it was like it massively targeted their perceptions and their third eye and stuff. So they felt like this individual that I trust was compromised, rather than there's an external party weaponized against these people, because they've also had their flash tech and super recovery body tech stolen code wise. So it was weaponized to prevent them recognizing and doing a self-assessment, rather it was aimed at making this person that was good as bad, okay? And it was just very, very fascinating to go through this process to work out this diabolical influence going on at a very high level and still getting through and stuff. So yeah, I just want to offer this for you guys out there and the journey into the unknown, because this stuff is going on. So I'll just show you another image. So this is the other one as well. This is like our journey. These big influences are going on and hacking people and all this sort of stuff. And say with me, perhaps I do get hacked and compromised and all that sort of stuff. I invite that. I don't assume I'm always good, but because I'm willing to contemplate that, I eliminate a lot of it, alright? I'm open to it, because then I can find it out and reverse engineer and get stronger and stuff. But perhaps these people are influencing you to have your perceptions about me to be very negative when I'm actually the solution and stuff like that, alright? So I'll just offer that because it's constant, And it's not only about me and you, or me as a member of this spiritual alternate community and stuff, but I would invite that if this is going on with you, then you're a threat, okay? So what's your potential that they don't want to be a part of this reality, okay? So yeah, I've got quite a few images on my servantoftruth.org website front page, so if you just scroll down, they're in a bit more detail, right? So this little body that I'm going to show is all about the journey into the unknown, right? And so I hope this is quite rich, right? This is a bit of needing to get a few things out quite quick, and a nice surprise in the middle of a week. So I'm going to leave that section now, and I'll see you on the other side, alright? I used to show one like this, alright? And it's a metaphor of our journey over time. We have ups and downs and dips and stuff. And the system, to me, they're sort of preying on us all the time, and they're waiting for our dips, and then they compound them by hammering us at their worst moments, okay? So a lot of my training, a lot of my emotional mastery sort of stuff, and going out and pushing yourself hard when it's worth to get yourself strong. I used to talk about the Michael Jordan Last Dance video series, which is mystical training from my perspective of there's no substitute for hard work, right? So for me, I've always tried to master what I can control, so it makes what I don't have mastery over and is a potential vulnerability easier to manage when there is trouble, right? So another metaphor or quote that I like to employ is, you don't know the truth about people when things are good, you know it when things are bad, right? So say doing GSF work and stuff, you can afford no gaps, right? And I might have the little image relative to gaps that I used to show in the past just to keep it simple and keep it flowing because I don't have a lot of time. That at the lower dimensional levels, the gaps might be tiny cracks, alright? But when you go doing epic missions at a higher level and stuff, the gaps can be chasms, and they can be vulnerabilities that you can get hacked to actually derail everyone else. And I've dealt with this constantly for the last 15 years, alright? I've been doing this a long time, alright? And I've been asked to step up more by her, so I've been working with her quite a lot at a higher level with the 10,000 central suns and stuff like that. So if you watched GSF 29, I included a lot of the influences and stuff and the allies that we have, and the recalibration number 6, the earth line in the universal sand. I offered a lot of our spirit team potentials that we have, like Mars at 22D, the 1000D dragons, the 10,000 central suns, Earth Mother who is furious at these fractures on her surface that are not welcome anymore, that are on borrowed time, right? Literally borrowed time. Right. So I'm going to show you another image. So this is one I drew just recently. So this is a metaphor of our journey, right? Our journey is from the unknown and discovering from the known of what we know and discovering the unknown. So say this is 4 images, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So top 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we go into our journey, we don't know much. We know a bit, but it's all about the discovery of the unknown, right? And it costs a lot of life force potentially at the start to really get going, right? But the more you get aware, the more efficient it gets, ideally, right? And the unknown is vast and exponential. And I love that journey of discovery, like I've always said, right? So what it eventually realized is that, just to get to the point, maybe you guys haven't experienced this or you haven't become aware of the experience of this, but there's frackers out there that are in the spiritual community by design to derail us and to prevent us knowing everything. So the more we know, the more resistance we get, because we're coming to a barrier of understanding of what's going on, right? And they're totally aligned with the occupation of Earth to distort us, playing teacher roles and allies, and the system supports them and draws a lot of attention to them when people align with truth and the pure source and earth aligned sort of thing probably get a lot of resistance and stuff, right? So some of the first mystical experiences might be you get hammered by this stuff and you get smashed, and it's sort of a confirmation that you're on the right path. But all the stuff I know and I've learnt and I've imparted, it's all by my journey in this, and I feel it's very common for many people that don't understand it. So that's why I've been imparting my information, right? So then what happens is we keep growing and stuff, and say these frackers steal our codes and steal our life force and try and sabotage our journey into the known, alright? Like to uncover the unknown and explore the unknown. But as we uncover more, for the unknown to become more known, we take away their security, because a lot of these individuals, they rely on the unknown to not be seen. They do it in the secret on the multi-dimensional levels that most people don't appreciate and stuff like that. And so the more that we discover also has a negative effect to that, because it costs them more to maintain the unknown barrier, but also they don't harvest as much. And also the energy efficiency to maintain the unknown gets reduced, so it costs them more, so they have less life force, which has a detrimental effect on the barrier of our unknown, alright? And the resistance to us knowing. We become stronger, they become weaker, but then they get backed into a corner and they go harder and more negative, and because they don't give a shit, alright? Their ultimate fate is dusting or ejection from our universe, so they've got nothing to lose. They don't accommodate the laws of the universe and all that sort of stuff. So us being nice and all that, light, kumbaya, love and light, it plays into their benefit, if you will. So then eventually what happens is we break through that barrier of the unknown and we see them for what they are. They no longer can harvest our energy. We get our life force back. We get on a parabolic roll, and our ability to discover it is only increased over time, right? And they get busted. And so that's what's going on for myself and the core sort of group. It may not seem like it at the moment, but we've got an enormous number of allies. Like I said, the 10,000 central suns and all that sort of stuff, right? So this is what it is about. This is the journey into our unknown. It's not light and love, and it's not as idealistic as what we would like. There's definitely players out there that do not want us to be aware, because we're in a war that we don't want to be or accept and all that sort of stuff. But it is what it is, and we have to accept it and step into it and be what we have always had the potential and meant to be. All right. So that's where my posture has changed over the years when I've discovered all this. And as I said, I've seen a void and a gap, and I've stepped into that leadership, and I'll impart what I discover, and it's up to you to process it, discern it, accept it, or find another path or whatever, alright? But as always, I appreciate you being here. These are very complex things that I'm trying to make very simple and elegant, because perhaps you're being under the pump, alright, and you haven't known it. And you're a good person and you take on all the responsibility. And as I've said in the recalibration shows, most of you guys out there, you're probably only 2% of what's going on is yours, right? It's just from the unknown at this point. But just see you're relentless for being here, and you've got enormous potential before you, that you're going to get to that aha moment and break through the bullshit of your own journey and see it for yourself, right? Hey, welcome back, or welcome to the extension of this video. I usually have someone else speaking, but it's actually me this time, so I'm keeping going, but I'm on a different day if you appreciate what I said at the start and you're still here and it all makes sense so far. So what I realized by not releasing the other two sections in a shorter video during the week, because I was just playing with randomness and felt really good and was on my game and just wanted to offer you guys a reference of where I'm at and stuff. But in those extra couple of days and just like feeling very on it and ready to rip and stuff like that, and getting a lot of my talents and my energy and my perceptions and appreciations of what I was going to offer and stuff, I realized that I did leave a gap in this video. What I realized is that, and this goes for all you guys out there, I had some feedback saying that it was the perception that I only wanted to deal with like GSF level people and all that sort of stuff, which is not true. Like, I love dealing with anyone wherever they're in their journey. I see myself as a metaphor of shortening your journey by 5, 10, 20 years, right? So interactions, and that's where it's a session or whatever, it's about accelerating your journey and getting you up to speed ASAP. From a theory perspective, or a imparting wisdom relative to your journey to close off some unknowns. And basically what I've said is I offer clarity. Okay, so the discovery and exploring the spiritual community can be very grey and murky and stuff, because we go into the spiritual community thinking everything is on our side, when unfortunately, and this is what I've attempted to impart, is potentially the vast majority aren't, and they're aware of you, and they're playing upon your unknown when they know exactly what's going on, with the aims to steer you in the wrong direction and stuff like that. So it's nothing to be frightened or scared or feel inferior to. As I said at the start, we've been masters of the navigation in the unknown for 25,000 years. The Babylon Massacre, 3470 BC and stuff like that. And as I've said in some of the Galactic Special Forces videos, I think it was 29, because I've attempted to impart many of the influences and stuff inlaid in all these videos to help people get up to speed. And some people might take this part, some people might get something from that part, or the conscious Tetris, you might get something now, and then you watch it in 6 months, you get another whole layer and stuff, because they've been actually using wiping tech in us to, when we come close to conclusions and understandings, they might wipe us, so we're left dazed and confused and in a state of confusion, because we didn't come to a conclusion that would have been a big conscious Tetris point that would have taken us to a whole new level and stuff. And so when I offer all that I offer, it's trying to impart to you that yes, it may have the perception we are inferior to all this stuff, but they've needed all this system and all this stuff to actually maintain their place here, and we are the threat to them, and that's why they do all this shit to us. So it's been a constant for a very, very long time, but we're in an era now where we can actually flip that. And one of the big parts of having the courage to go into the unknown is really turning the volume up on the potential variable rather than the fear that this stuff can be done to us, because it has been done to us. We've had to endure it. We haven't known, and many haven't survived, and it's been going on many lifetimes and stuff. But we're right at a point where maybe for the first time in a very long time, we are actually, in spite of all that, we're actually able to flip it. And that's why I've attempted to honor the people that I've been involved with these last 3 or 4 months, because we've actually shellacked and clobbered a lot of shit and taken a lot of their advantage back. Like, for instance, one of the big things is the super fast flash perception tech. That's been a big target of a lot of people that I've interacted with, that has been stolen from many people to make those sort of align with what I've been doing, whether it's the pure source alignment. Guardian founders, as I've said in the past, is that the invaders have stolen our flash tech, so we have had superior perception ability, and then they steal that aspect of us, and so they have able to maintain a superiority via our technology that people didn't know we could even do because it was stolen, and then we were wiped. And there's no one out there talking about the stealing of DNA talent codes and stuff like that, which has been a massive thing in the industry. It's been a buffet free-for-all by all these invaders doing it at all big gatherings and all that sort of stuff. So the unknown has been absolutely weaponized against us. But I really feel, like I show in this image, I'll just show the image, that there's many of us in part 4 now where we're seeing it and busting them, and they're using up big chess moves and a lot of resources to try and get us back to these levels, which is a violation. As I said, violation is an asset that, again, it's just adding to the perpetuality of our discovery of the unknown and all this sort of stuff. So I really wanted to instill in you, if you have that feeling of inadequacy and fear of all this stuff, right? You are here in spite of all that. You've made it here now. And what if you flip that and realize that you've actually mastered all this in spite of all that, and potentially there's so much being done against you that you have no idea about, and they just haven't been able to get rid of us because we're invader cockroaches, right? They just can't do more than what they've done. They're at the peak of what they've been able to do, and it hasn't been enough. So it means we're sort of invincible to it on some level. The key is our attitude. Like I said, do we fear the unknown, or do we get hungry for that potential that lays dormant in us for each of us that we've never actually had access to? And so many through history have probably dreamt about the opportunity that we've got at our hands right now. And you might want to follow someone like me or whatever that, but we have to find that self-assurance and solidness in ourselves to lead ourselves and be the example and be the change we seek, right? And you can actually step into that power and not be codependent or accommodate the reality or anything like that. Maybe you're so unique, we've been waiting for you, you know? You're such an original being that has never been, with talents and stuff. See some angles in yourself that you may never have contemplated up until now. And so perhaps bad things might happen and stuff, and perhaps you will make mistakes, you know, and maybe things will happen that will have negative outcomes. But as I say, in my journey, if I make a mistake, well, I don't see it as a mistake. I just see it as a confirmation that I had more potential at a moment that I never realized at that time. Like there was more perception that I didn't accept, more data that I could have contemplated more. There were angles that I didn't see. So sort of a mistake is like a reference point of where I was, that I realized I could have had more variables in a decision point that had I not gone through that I didn't realize I had. So it's the metaphor for myself is I'd rather make a mistake than regret not trying, right? Because at least I grow and I gain wisdom. The fear of not trying is more... I did a Trinity of Choice video many years, like a couple of years ago, and I used Trinity of Choice because I just wanted to see if I could use the word Trinity in a video, just testing myself and stuff. And I like the character Trinity in the Matrix and stuff, but one of the variables in that, there's doing good, doing bad, and doing nothing. Like crossing a road when it's busy, inaction, doing nothing is needed, but sometimes we choose inaction when we should act, and the fear of the unknown is the reason that we don't. Alright, so I just hope this all helps. Just don't by default associate fear with the unknown. Just see that maybe your emotional wiring might be incorrect, like I said about the Babylon massacre and stuff. we have had a lot done to us, and maybe it's time to let that go and just be able to splice up the layers of fear and stuff, because unknown doesn't necessarily mean it's something to fear. Okay, so I'm going to offer the remainder of the section that I did on midweek, and I'll leave you to it, guys. Thanks for being here. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. I didn't mean this to be so long, as I like to talk and stuff, but I'm in pretty much the best form I've ever been in. So, those of you that have trusted me and all that sort of stuff throughout the years, I really appreciate it. I might do another short here and there and stuff, like the Sabrina Wallace that I mentioned, like the second half of Echoes 12, if you've watched that. I deliberately did that a massive repository of data relative to things going on, and the stuff I've offered in that triggered a lot of crap, brought a lot of pushback and all that. It's like, how dare he put so much together in one video and out everything, alright? But hey, I've just got to be me. Everything is very obvious and simple now and stuff. I would just offer that perhaps what I am perceiving doesn't line up to anything out there. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong, and it doesn't mean they're right. It doesn't mean they're wrong, and it doesn't mean I'm right. But I just want to invite that I'm actually coming back from doing field work. So the reason why I'm offering the early Asher sort of stuff is that I feel there's some sort of compromise and stuff like that, but there's a lot of truth, and just her mannerisms and linguistics and stamina and all that sort of stuff. There's many admirable qualities in it, but what I feel I'm doing is I'm clean up crew for the early stuff, because the variables that we're dealing with are the variables that are out there. Okay, so tune into the 10,000 central suns, 22D Mars, 1000D dragons, and yeah, if as I put into the video, the moon video about the oversoul of Metatron and stuff, I really suggest you go back and watch that one if you haven't seen it, or watch it a few times and see what you get. But as I said, I didn't want this to be too long. I just want to touch base and say g'day and give you a reference point of where I am at and stuff. Despite what might be going on out there, I feel the best I've ever been. Like, I feel so rich in awareness because of this potent time we're in, when everything seems to be up against us. But I would offer that even, like, as I said, relative to the moon, we healed an aspect of a soul that was being used relative to the trauma of losing her brother. I would say brother, the defender, because us guys look after our little sisters, right? You know, so the trauma of that horrific death of Maldek, and then it all being sucked together and weaponized from the moon into the song lines, right? The metaphor of the emails, if you appreciate that symmetry of trauma being employed, right? But yeah, I just want to offer you a reference of where I'm at, and I'm better than ever been. So it was always going to be a tough time at some point for me, and it is what it is. And now I'm sort of on the other end of it. I'm anchoring that potential for myself and those who are here and may seek me further and invest in me and stuff. But I just really want to say, as I said, relative to her, she's very grateful for us on the surface being willing to challenge all that's going on. She hasn't been aware of what's going on because she's been trapped under there. But I've been working with her, and I'm not really doing it as transparent and public as it has been in the past. But she's got an aspect of her soul integrated into her oversoul, and it was funny because it was like we were like, "Do you want us to do anything?" She's like, "No, I'm going to take care of it." So I feel Earth is brewing some big moves that are going to shock everything, and obviously there's a lot of chess at a high level for the occupation of her to keep going, but just tune into those big overall structures that we've done and completed and anchored in alignment with us. Just imagine like the pure source, right? and working with 10,000 central suns to be the foundation of the clear universe, the infrastructure is sort of in place, and Earth is just a major battleground, and that's why Echoes 12 is so big and pivotal. So those of you that have had the stamina to absorb all that and contemplate it, discern it and stuff, I thank you, and I might do a clip relative to the second part with that Sabrina Wallace section and stuff at a future point. But until next time, guys, thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Stay lit. So, thank you for being here. Interesting video for me and stuff. It's a bit unique in my style, but it's an opportunity to play with my in the moment sort of offerings and see where I can have more potential and expound upon it and stuff. But yeah, I just want to really thank you for being here if you've managed to get to this point. It's a very interesting topic, the courage to go into your unknown. What I've attempted to do here is to invite you to contemplate that there's more depth to the unknown. I know in myself in the past and still going forth that fear will always be a variable, an ingredient in that association with the unknown. But I just want to offer that perhaps it's actually not our truth. It's actually something that's been instilled in to actually make us stagnant and avoid exploring the unknown, when perhaps that's where our talents and potentials are. And as I showed in the image, that the invader beings messing with us are masterful in that, and they know our mechanics, and they operate from the unknown, doing their stuff that they've done to us a lot of our lifetimes and probably past lifetimes to maintain their place in this reality, which I can assure you there's many variables out there that do not want them here anymore. So I really hope you gain a lot from this. I hope it is very rich. I hope you are feeling awesome. I hope you've, in your own journey, have come through the other side of a lot of stuff that's been going on. And I really want to invite you to go into your unknown and have the courage to discover the potential that you might have that we've all been waiting for. Right? So thank you for being here. Thank you for all you're doing that is never appreciated and stuff. I can assure you, Earth Mother, she's on it now and she knows. And there's many variables out in the universe and stuff that do know as well. So hold that in your truth and use it to discern the people around you. Alright? The people that will matter will be interested in what you do and want to know, and all probably already know it anyway. Okay. So best of luck, guys. Thank you for being here, and until next time, Andre out.
In December, heading for the city lights. 975, we sharing each other, nearer than farther. The scent of the lemon drips from your eyes. We are the people that rule the world. What's running in every boy and girl? All rejoicing in the world. Take me now. We can drive. We live
John Lilly once put it this way: there are no limits at all to the human mind whatsoever, except those we impose on ourselves because of our beliefs. And those limits are also beliefs to be transcended. And that's a view that suggests that the possibilities of human transformation are virtually infinite. And we have no way of knowing the outer horizon of what it means to be human.
And really, to understand all this, everything, you have to go very, very deep into a study of history, consciousness, neurophysiology, everything. You have to be the supreme eclectic type of leaning, and you really have to be wanting to know who you are and what everything's about.
And the thing that you'll find when you go to sacred sites, if you're very humble about it, is that you are on a personal journey, and the sacred site will respond to you in a way that is appropriate only to you. The information is always what you are searching for. And it's the intent you give that energy that defines whether it is used for right action or not. And it is inside these sacred spaces that you will be reminded that you are a god, that you are a bright star.
So what you're trying to do is move through the course without ricocheting off walls or creating karma. You're trying to slide through things smoothly. How do you do that? It's called flowing. There's a technique that you can do that will allow you to touch some part of your inner being that has more knowledge than your conscious state does.